I'm Terin and Bri, and this is mine and Brianna Watkins' project. We're doing oil check, filter, and oil change. And here's the supplies you're going to need. Most important thing you're going to need is your safety glasses. Second thing you need is your safety gloves, which old oil can be cancer causing, so it's very important to have these. Next we have the actual oil filter, and you can check at the store what type of oil filter is right for your car. Next we have the funnel. And this is the oil filter wrench. And here is the wrench socket for draining your plug and putting it back in. This right here is your synthetic motor oil, and you can check in your manual in your car what type of capacity that your filter will require, and ours requires 3.8 quarts. Next, you're going to need disposable cleaning towels and extra pair of gloves.
For your oil change, you need a car, you need the wheel chocks, jack stand, oil pan, and jack.
Now the first thing you need to do is put your safety glasses on, because safety's first, and you need to put your gloves on. So the very first step of your oil change is to have safety first. So what we did was we took the keys out of the ignition of the car to make sure that it's very safe to work around the car. So the very first step of your oil change is to have safety first. So what we did was we took the keys out of the ignition of the car to make sure that it's very safe to work around the car.
You need to chock the tires so the wheels don't roll backwards, and make sure you put the emergency brake on.
Alright, now what you need to do before you jack your car up is to find if your car has a specific spot for jacking the car up properly. You can check this by going underneath your car and looking for the ridge that has where you put your jack. Also, while checking under the specific spot of the car, you can look in your manual to also find where that spot is. Now that you've found the proper spot to jack your car up, you have to start jacking it up.
You want to jack it high enough so you can fit the jack stands underneath the frame of the car. You never want to rely on a hydraulic jack while you're working on the car for safety.
Okay.
After the car is jacked up, you need to safely place the jack stands underneath the car. Now that the jack stands are placed properly underneath the car, you need to release the jack slowly to apply the car's pressure upon the jack stands.
Good.
Now what you're going to need for the next step is to have your hood up, and you're going to need to place your oil pan underneath the drain plug properly. You're also going to need your towels and your oil ratchet.
Now that your drain pan is underneath the plug, you loosen your plug to drain the oil.
Have that ready. I'll buy you in case it sprays you. Let it go in the pan. Let it go in the pan.
This? Just
Yeah.
let go?
No, hold on to the plug. Let the oil go in the pan. Good. Hold on. You got it, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
Turn.
Okay, now the rag. Wipe your hand.
Oh.
Don't get underneath the drain with it. Wipe your gloves all off. It's going to drip down.
Now that you've finished draining the oil, you now reinsert the drain plug.
Now you must put the ratchet on the drain plug and tighten it this way.
On this car, the oil filter is accessible from the top, so we're going to lower the car to make it easier to change the filter.
Now, make sure that your oil pan is still safely underneath the car. Next, what you need to do is take your oil filter wrench and place it on the oil filter to loosen it. Be careful because the exhaust manifold is still hot, and you're going to turn left to loosen it. Now, what you need to do after the oil filter cap is loosened, you need to fully take the cap off, and it's going to drain, so you have to be careful. Have your towel ready. You're going to flip it over. There you go.
Okay.
After removing the oil filter, you need to make sure that the gasket, which is here, is still on the old oil filter and not on your car. After draining your oil filter, you need to dispose of it properly. Now you have to make sure that you have the proper oil filter. Next step is to take some new motor oil and take your finger and lubricate the gasket to make sure that when you apply, it properly seals the oil filter. Now you must reapply the new oil filter. You have to apply it to the block, and it's one turn after it reaches the gasket. Now it's time to reinstall the car with oil. You like to put a towel to ensure that there's no dripping. Next, what you need to do is make sure you put the right amount of motor oil back into your car. Our car takes less than what our jug contains, so we put a mark to ensure that we put the right amount of oil back into our car. The oil fill is normally on the valve cover of the opener. You need to place your cap, once it's removed from the motor, on a place you're not going to forget it is. Next, what you need to do is place the funnel inside. Next step is to reinstall your oil slowly.
Yep.
After the oil is reinstalled properly, you need to take the funnel out, catch the excess oil with your towel. Next, what you need to do is make sure you put your cap back on. Now we're going to check the oil of the car. What you need to do is go and find your dipstick, and you need to pull it out, clean it off on a towel, reinstall it, pull it out again, and check the oil. Now to do this, what you need to do is look at the level of the oil to ensure is where the marks are supposed to be.
And you're good.
When you're done, you need to check the filter and the plug and check for leaks.
Good? Looks good. The very last step is to dispose of your oil properly. You can do this at wherever you purchased your oil.